up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I recently hit 3 million subscribers, and I just want to thank you so much for that amazing support. It's just incredible, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you. And because of that, I'm gonna do some Q&A. So let's start with the first one.
How many guitars do you have?
How many guitars does one have? It's a deep philosophical question. I actually don't know the exact number, and I've been working with Gibson for a few years now, so I've been able to acquire quite a few Gibsons. I'm also in my late 40s, so I would say that I have probably over 30 and under 50. But as far as super high-end, super nice quality high-end guitars, it's under 20.
What's your favorite guitar that you own?
I would say the favorite guitar I have is my Gibson ES 335. I got to go to the Gibson factory and watch the guitar get made and have them hand it to me at the end, which represented 10 years of really hard work on YouTube and the internet, and finding this career that I've been able to, kind of pave out for myself. And so it all kind of culminated in receiving that guitar. So it symbolizes the hard work leading up to it, and being accepted by, the best guitar brand, Gibson, and then also just having an amazing ES335, which has always been my main guitar that I like, my favorite type of guitar. I don't have it here, but I love it.
What or who inspired you to pick up guitar?
I've been a classic rock fan, music fan from childhood, but what really inspired me to actually pick up an instrument was the kind of early 90s jam band scene that just kind of blew over the country, specifically Blues Traveler, who I saw open for Santana, and I had never heard of them before. And to see a band of guys in their 20s playing more improvised classic rock in the style of the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead, that was an eye-opening moment. And I was so inspired that I bought a little harmonica, although I have a big harmonica too, but I bought a harmonica, and I would just jam by myself along to records. I jammed along to the Allman Brothers, I jammed along to the Blues Traveler albums, I jammed to some old Chess, Muddy Waters records, and I didn't even know about how to play in the right key or anything like that. But I was able to just kind of find a few cool little bluesy licks I could do on the harmonica. And then that led to me being able to not just watch some of my high school friends who could play guitar, watch them jam, but actually also participate in jamming with them on harmonica. So I kind of got my foot in the door of hanging out with some of my friends that were already good at guitar by being able to play a little harmonica with them. And then just through osmosis of hanging out with buddies in high school, they started showing me some of the just basic chords. And I never thought I'd be a real guitar player. I just wanted to know 3 chords, so when we're sitting around, I could grab a guitar and play it a little bit. But that wasn't the case. I learned 3 chords and was like, okay, well, I'll just learn a 4th chord, but I'll never be a real guitar player. All right, I'll learn the 5th chord, but that's good for me. All right, I'll learn the 6th chord. And it just continued and developed until I went to college and just kind of took that to the next level and really exploded by really starting to study the instrument. And I found my friend and teacher who's been on the channel, Chris Sherland, who really opened my mind to becoming a guitar player. And it was never the plan to be a musician. I just loved it so much. Like someone has any passion, they just want to do it all the time. And that is what guitar became for me. And then as a teacher, I wanted to pass on all the things that I had learned that I always thought in my mind were really hard, but then when I learned them the right way or the casual way, it wasn't as hard as I initially thought. So that's always been my goal, is to show you that it's not as hard as you might think if you have some fun with it. So I don't even remember what the question was, but that's just like part of my life story now.
Do you make any of your own music, and if so, where can I find it?
I haven't focused on that in quite a while because I've been given this amazing opportunity here to help people learn guitar. But before YouTube, I was in an original band I've been in a lot of original bands, but the one that got me to move to San Diego from Orange County, California, was a band called Wise Monkey Orchestra. So you can find the album that I'm on is a live album called They Live, and that's on all platforms. And at the same time, I was in another band called Sidecar, Psydecar, and I'm on one all-original album of theirs that's on all the platforms called Subtle Yet Striking. So if you check out Sidecar, Subtle Yet Striking, all the guitar playing is me. So if you check that out, I appreciate it.
Who is your favorite artist?
My favorite artist is probably Picasso, or maybe Van Gogh.
If you were able to talk to any guitarist, alive or dead, about anything music, who would it be and what would you talk about?
If I could talk to any guitar player, living or dead, I'd have to pick Jimi Hendrix. I know it's kind of the safe, boring answer, but it's just so true. He revolutionized the instrument. He was so passionate about what he did. He had killer style. He invented his own sound. He had amazing technique. He could shred the blues. He loved jamming just for the sake of jamming. So if I hung out with him, I would just like to just play guitar with him, jam. And if it was in 2021 and we were able to just suck him through some vortex into 2021, it'd be really fascinating to talk to him about what the current world looks like through his perspective of just showing up in the future and seeing what's going on. And he was just a creative genius. So what can you not get from someone like that?
Is the Boss Katana 50 Mark II better than the Marshall Code 50?
Hey, that's a great question. I personally use the Boss Katana, and they are a sponsor, so I am just very familiar with them, and also they support me, which makes them a very cool company in my mind. I haven't actually played the Marshall that you're referring to, but one thing that I like about the Boss Katana is that there are pre-made patches that you can download for free that give you the sound of various songs. And I even have a bunch of them that were made by Boss on the channel that you can get. So for that alone, I would always say the Boss Katana.
I just got a wah pedal and I already learned Voodoo Child. What else should I learn?
If you want to hear awesome wah playing and wah style that you can learn, check out the solo on White Room by Cream. That is the pinnacle wah pedal solo, besides Voodoo Child, of course. So go check out White Room by Cream.
Did you like the Stones concert in Nashville?
Wow, yes, the Rolling Stones. So back in October of 2021, I got invited actually by Gibson Guitar to go to their private suite at the Rolling Stones show, and I had a fantastic time. First of all, they sounded amazing. The actual sound production sounded amazing, and the band itself sounded amazing. Also, huge shout out to I'm happy to call this person my friend, Carl Denson, who's been playing saxophone with the Stones for maybe 5 or 6 years now. So to see, one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, also with my friend playing with them, and then also being invited by Gibson Guitar as their guest, that's all pinch me moments in one. So it was an epic time.
Do the fire through the flames, you won't.
You're right.
I need tips on learning how to solo and improvise. I only know how to play songs.
Soloing and improvising, you gotta start with the first shape of the minor pentatonic scale, practice it over blues, and stick to that one shape until you come up with a vocabulary of a few, some licks. Before you start, some people think to solo, they should know every single scale. That's just gonna be a waste of time because you wanna be able to improvise with a very basic scale, even like a 3-note scale, to start to feel like you're singing, but with your fingers. You just want to start real basic and get some soloing down with just the one shape. Don't learn every single scale first. Basic shape first.
Do you have a video showing best ways to practice with sleeping kids in the house? What setup do I use?
Wow, loaded question there, kind of like a loaded diaper. I have lots of videos on martymusic.com as well as the Marty Music YouTube channel, guitar exercises, right? And there's some that I refer to as like couch exercises, meaning your guitar is not even plugged in and you're doing some like muscle memory type of exercises. So the most classic one that I talk about over and over is this, pentatonic extended scale. And I'm playing it right now as I talk to you, and it's not coming out of the amplifier, so it's very quiet on an electric. And I'm doing all kinds of programming. In fact, me talking at the same time is really programming that muscle memory, right? So there's a bunch of exercises like that you can find for free on the YouTube channel. But also, most practice amps these days, like a Boss Katana, for instance, have a jack in the back where you can plug in headphones. So it'll make no noise at all, and you can play with heavy distortion and rock sounds, any kind of sound you want, and you can make it super loud in your headphones, so you get the same feeling of playing, a cranked amp. So those are two things you can do.
How long will it take me to get good? How did you stop yourself from giving up?
I think everyone's path and journey is different. And now with the internet, you can get good at guitar really fast if you're putting the time in, because there's just so much information out there. I didn't have all that when I was learning. I was taking weekly lessons and having friends show me stuff, but I think anyone can get solid, good at guitar in about 3 years. You could get really, really good, I think. And as far as not giving up, that's just never been an issue for me. I've just never, ever felt like giving up. I've just always enjoyed it. And if you do feel like giving up, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that, because it's all about what your desires are, and not everyone desires the same thing. So I've certainly seen people stop playing, and it never was an issue for me. I never wanted to stop playing. Whether I did it for a living or not, that's another story. There were definitely times where I wanted to quit doing guitar as my job so I could actually just enjoy it as a thing I enjoy, as opposed to mixing it with supporting a family and paying bills and all that. That can actually be discouraging. But as far as just playing because I love the instrument, I never have had an issue.
I was fighting depression, and then I bought a guitar 3 years ago, and playing guitar helped me a lot to get better in life.
Hey, I am so glad to hear that. That's something that's not talked about as much with the guitar or any musical instrument, is the therapeutic aspect. I think it's similar to meditation. Getting lost in your playing can really help you in so many different ways, and I'm glad it's helped you. And anyone else out there, let us know how you use guitar to make you feel better in life.
What's the hardest thing about being a YouTube teacher?
I think there's inherent pressure having a YouTube channel that does well. You're kind of always worried that it's going to go away. So there is a bit of anxiety over things constantly changing, and the algorithm is doing this or that, and you have to focus on that and this, and YouTube wants consistency, so you're never really taking a break. I don't take breaks or take a week off because I don't want to lose this amazing opportunity that I have. So I feel like there's just a little bit of pressure to keep it going, and that's probably the hardest part about it.
How does it feel being the best guitar teacher?
Well, man, it's really flattering to hear that. I've always had a very relaxed, have fun approach, where some teachers are way more strict, and some people prefer that. I also think you can learn a lot by watching multiple teachers. I don't expect people to just watch me, and you can get a little something from everybody. But if you like me the most, I am not gonna disagree with you, and I do want to thank anyone who's enjoyed watching my lessons. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it really feels good, honestly, to hear stuff like that and to know that I'm, helping people. It makes me feel good. So all I can say is thank you. All right, you guys, that was it. Hope you had fun. Thank you again for the continued support. I hope to be able to do this for as long as you'll have me. So thank you, and I hope to see you again real soon.